Alright, last time, um, in the last episode, we set up Atomico with the storybook CLI, and now I would like to explore the syntax a little bit more, try to do my first step here, and yeah, maybe I can come up with a functional component already, as it also is the first time for me. Let's see how things will went. So that being said, let's get started. So first let's go here and check a little bit. Okay, this is a component. This is how you instantiate your component. We recommend in return the function, export the return of the C function. The C function. This is this. This is being recommended. The generator has done that for me already. Let's see what we can do. Let's start our dev task here. So, and let's dev storybook. So there we go. This is the component from last time. Let's check what we can do here. Probably let's try some things here. That doesn't work. Maybe I should do it like this. Yes, okay. We cannot nest this. Okay. So CSS inline works, kind of. What is this actually? We have the shadow DOM here. Frequent questions. CS, we're working on this documentation. All right. Good. Instance in JSX. Instance in the JS. The new operator allows the instance to have an instance in HTML. Just drop it there. Alright. Okay. Can I use Atomico with TypeScript? This is what we do. Let's check what we have here in the index stories. This is just the imported component. How do we use this myprop? I don't know. Let's find it out. So probably let's rename it to HTML, as we want to have our web component to display HTML. So this is red. Can we do anything about it? Archetypes, color. Let's check what we have in storybook here. We have color. What we want is HTML. So description. Let's check storybook on archetypes. I believe we can just label background color size. So we want this to be a text control, or is there any other control we can choose? Controls. No, that's not what I'm looking for. Choosing the control type. I'm actually looking if there's something that sounds like code input, otherwise we are fine with text. Type select, boolean number, object array enum, string. Alright. So we can input something. So, but at the moment, of course, we do nothing with this. We only have the slot here. What I want instead is to have the output. Let's check this. Props. So array object boolean number string is working. So types value type string, event type change. Oh, that's more complicated than I expected. Alright, this seems kind of like React hooks here. You have const message, set message, and use prop message. That's what I want to check. So we do HTML, set HTML. Oh no, let's stick to that. So we alright, then let's check this. What happens is we don't see anything because we don't have a default value for it. Because of this, let me do this. So problem is now, of course, it doesn't display it as an H1, but escapes it. So now's the question. So no, that's not HTML. Use dollars. Okay, this is something different. Let's check. Is the template described somewhere? No. Doesn't seem to be. Static node. SSR hydration, my component data hydrate. Class name inheritance. That's weird. Okay, let's Google this. Render HTML. Let me check one thing. I want to see if it is HTML from, if it is escaped from the beginning or not. It's undefined. Of course it is. Let's define something. So, storybook arcs. So we can do this. This is the title. So that is kind of, no, maybe this is the story. So we have this here. So it is returning the Webjection HTML component. So, but how can we define something on the props? Of course, but how do we pass the props in that case? Most likely from here. What's the define? Define. Let's check this. Atomico storybook. Let's see. Define my component archetypes. It's not saying anything about this. Okay. It's not telling me how I define the arcs, so I will just guess and do it like this. Arcs HTML is h1 works. So somehow it is not correct. Why is that? Fetching documentation not working. That's the end of the define statement. We have a error. Did not expect a type annotation here. Most likely it has to be part of this. And then we have to close this. Let's see what we get. So now we have this by default. Alright. So from there, let's check what our console says. So that doesn't seem to be escaped. Let's search Atomico for inner HTML. Clone node. Div inner HTML. Alright. This is how it is supposed to work. So we have div clone node. But I don't know if this is really necessary. Tag name. Okay. Probably we can write it like this. What do you think? HTML cannot appear as a child of. No, seems to be an error. Did not expect the type annotation here. Still have a problem. No, I think this is not a problem anymore. No one in the stream. No one in the chat. I don't know. Can I see if someone is in the stream? No, I can't. Yeah, then let's just continue. We are stoic. Let's just go ahead. So, alright. We see nothing at the moment. Let's switch back. This was slightly better, even if... Let's check if we can do this as well. Let's close it. Of course, I know how to do this. Doesn't seem to exist here. So, back to the documentation here. So it's a little bit special, it seems. Dynamic constructor, static node. So const fragment, HTML fragment. So let's create document fragment document fragment does not have inner HTML, right? Let's do this. Const tpl document to open tpl dot inner HTML equals HTML return tpl. So then let's remove this. What happens? You see nothing happens. So, but let's check how our component looks like. Let's open this in a new page. I want to inspect this. Even if I got a blank screen, somehow there we have the Atomico decor objection HTML shadow root template shadow root mode. Okay. Was this the... Yes, alright. That was the missing piece. The content was missing. So, alright, what do we have now? We achieved that we can receive any HTML from here. So, from the prop, use HTML. And we create a fragment that is being used with HTML. The question will be, if I update the HTML here, add attribute HTML equals h1, this works too. Yes, okay, nice. That works. I didn't knew how those hooks are working here, but it seems that it works. As soon as I type in the attribute here, it's getting reflected in the use memo function, except that it's different. I don't know how it works because I don't pass any dependencies, but most likely it will watch for the prop here. So now we have an error here. That's okay. It seems that it works in Atomico. So now is the question, can we style this component? So color is again fuchsia. So that works as well. Nice. Good. The next thing would be, of course, I'm interested on how to fetch things within this component. I don't know if the docs are writing anything about this. Fetch. Use async effect. Oh, nice. Execute use effect, but asynchronously. Alright, that means let's get a quick overview of which hooks. So we have a ref, and this is gonna check current. Alright, use update. What's use update? Okay, this is alright. This is for if the slot content will be updated. Use ID. Okay, nice. Use context. Okay, they have a context. They have use async and use suspense. Alright, so fetching data. Okay, let's do this. Of course, I know that this could be done actually. You have the HTML and usually you would use the slot, of course, but it's just for checking how the whole thing works and get an understanding of Atomico. So use async effect. That's imported from here. Doesn't seem to be installed. Then let's install this. my terminal. Check if the terminal has the right version. That does not exist. Atomico hooks use async effect. What about this? No. Doesn't seem to work. So and it says as no exported member use async effect. So now it's the question if I got the correct version of Atomico here. Okay, understood. That won't work. Now it works again. Like it says. So, modulo. Let's check npm for this. npm add Atomico. Is this still a thing or is this old? I don't know. What about checking the node modules here? So at Atomico, there should be something like hooks, exports, I don't know. I really don't know. That's all there. Can install all of this. Oh, that seems to be an old document that is named get HTML. So for now we don't have any input. So now is the question, where do we get the HTML from? So for now we have to put it somewhere here that it can be fetched from Storybook. Storybook should have a public folder. No? Let's check this. I want to put the HTML that should be fetched somewhere. Public folder. Oh yeah. So image font asset. Static DS. Okay. Then let's check the Storybook configuration. It should be in the main.js file. So, and the thing is called static DS. So, like this. Server side. So, we should be able to close this. I don't know if we have to restart. Let's do this. So, and in the element, we say, of course, from here, right? So if I put in fetch HTML, it should be, no, it's not there. It's the question if I have to, oops, Storybook doesn't work. What's the problem? Transform filter external. Okay. We should write correct syntax. Yeah, comma is missing. So again, so but I wanted to check, is this, yeah, okay, alright, it's there. So now let's get back to this. So, but how can I do that now? Because I have something that is being called HTML already, but I would like to name it the same. That's not possible, right? For now it is a prop. Nah, let's... yeah, I don't know. Yeah, for now that I don't mix it up, we create two functions. That's HTML2, HTML server. So we use async get HTML. We don't have any parameters. Maybe we should put it like this. And we should have a second thing, HTML server or HTML. Maybe like this. Let's see what happens. This is fetch from server side. Nice. Okay, that seems to work. Good. And I believe it's also being styled like this. No. What's the point? Maybe it is not an H1. It is. Whoa. That doesn't work. Why not? Probably this style has to be in the template. But why? That's really weird. So if I put in H1 directly, component H1, what is wrong here? That worked before. I knew it. Do we have an error somewhere? Let's restart this task, maybe. No. Pretty weird. What about this? That doesn't work either. As far seems that I broke it somehow, somewhere, but I don't know where. What happened? Nah. Actually, I should check my video. I did that and it worked, but now it stopped. So let's comment this out. Of course, HTML fragment. So now it works. And if I... what is causing this? This? Yes, okay. We have an asynchronous method that is causing the CSS not to be rendered. Do we have any errors here? Friends, HTML fragment is not defined. Alright. Then let's remove this entirely. So now we can't see the output, but it's still not working. If we comment this out, it works. Okay, we have a Houston, we have a problem. So we are using async. What happens? This is really weird. Why? So we have the CSS here. So this is under the mono in Fuchsia. We have a constructed style sheet. So if I use this, no constructed style sheet, this is pretty weird. So we don't have any errors, right? Lit is in dev mode, not recommended for production. Yeah, okay. Is this using lit under the hood? I don't know. Come on. Expected 2 arguments by guy1. Maybe we have an issue. So what about this? No. Even then, expected 2 and got one. An argument for args was not provided. I got it now. So, but it's still not working as expected. Is the reason we are fetching HTML? Let's quickly do this. What happens if I do this? Still not. We are using async from Atomico. Get user. No. That does not seem to work. One thing. Let's try this. What happens? Nothing happens. It's really like it is not displaying our H1 anymore. Okay, what happens if I create a style sheet here? TPL in a HTML. Equals style H1 has color fuchsia. Let's take another color fire brick. So let's close this style. See what happens. Nothing happens. Because, yeah, of course, we need to do this for now. But that doesn't work either. Yeah, of course, we don't have the we are not using the fragment anymore. This is not valid JSON. Okay. True, but the CSS works. Pretty weird why we don't have the styles anymore. Just by using use async. there anything in the docs with a similar but with scope approach? Scope yes, seeks to resolve a promise from a callback result. This allows you to regenerate the promise according to the scope example. So we have an example. Use async. Okay, respond with the async thingy there. That's all okay. Promise return. We have the HTML server and it works in a use prop. Use suspend. What is the difference? Use async, use promise. Ah, yeah, because that's using a real promise. Is this any different? Because this is also use promise, callback, args, outrun. Outrun is true. What happens if I do this? So args is nothing and outrun is true. That's an object because yeah, now it's getting a promise, right? Promise resolve. Use promise, promise fulfilled, promise result name. Okay, promise result. Promise result. So we should use promise result. And this works, while the async hook is not working as expected. What happens if I do it like this and use this? Alright, now it has also a result here. Whoop. Okay. Maybe. Did I copy it? No, it's exactly the same. Now that I use async and await, it seems to work. So that's because we have to do it like this. So this works. Alright, I really don't know actually what the difference is, except that it returns for use async, it returns the result. And for use promise, it returns the promise. So pending fulfilled result, rejected. Actually it's better. I would like to use this, but something was wrong. I really don't know. Fetch users. I don't know it. Let's get rid of use async. At least I can do what I want. So we don't need to set HTML function here, right? Because it works anyway. Question is, what happens if I change this and keeps working? So okay, understood. It's using HTML server results, of course, as the first thing, and so it stays the same. I don't get it. Okay, most likely we have to do it somehow different. Maybe we should check use state and create some logic. Use effect. Use effect. So maybe we should use the set HTML again. So this is an example. So we want to use a use effect. So dependency would be HTML and HTML server. So how do or maybe we should do it like this. We should name it like this. HTML client is the and we will introduce a state, which is the HTML. I just want to merge it somehow. So const HTML and set HTML equals use state, and for now it is HTML client. So HTML client and another use memo. So memo value return memorized by callback. Color, there's an issue in the docs. But no, let's create a use effect instead. So, and another use effect for the HTML server. What is this? This is not necessary anymore. So, and we want to set the HTML to HTML client if this is the case, and to HTML server here, and here we will use, can we do it like this? So, and we want to use HTML only. So let's see what happens. Undefined, undefined. It's not there. Why not? We are using it here. Doesn't seem to be used. So option. Maybe we have to do it like this. Still not. It's undefined. Did I get something wrong? Effect callback. Array of arguments and change it to trigger the effect. It's execute again without first cleaning the effects subscribed by the previous execution. Does not work as expected. So maybe we should check what happens here. So HTML client is this, and HTML server result is this. type error cannot read property of null. So for the first thing it is works, and for the others undefined. Alright, true. The point is that we should check this, right? So if HTML client, no, let's do it different. We could do it, write it like this, that's easier. So the same here. Does that make sense? Actually no, but let's try it. So there's nothing. Nothing happens, nothing works. Awesome. Let's remove this. Maybe, yeah, now it works. So now it works, but it is not getting the stuff from the server side. Actually it should. Let's check what we have here. Maybe we should listen. Pending true. So I believe that doesn't work either, even if it say it works. Maybe it's also too complicated for a first try out this example. Probably we make this thing a little bit easier here, or maybe we could. Can I use the promise to set the HTML? Set HTML, then let's remove this. What happened if I do this? Exactly the same. It's still pending. It's not working like this, I believe. Use update. It's normal that the state of your component. Okay, something like this is not working. What about use async in that case? No, we have problems with our CSS if we use async, so we stick to use promise. But it doesn't seem to work in an effect. Doesn't seem to trigger the effect again. So there's nothing we can do about this, right? So in the use promise we have pending, fulfilled, result, rejected. So how can we achieve this? So what I want to achieve is that by default it uses the stuff which is in the HTML attribute, and if we have the result from the server it should use this instead, and if we're going to change the attribute again in HTML it should again use this. Not as easy as expected. We can't even check what is the latest thing if we can't do something like this here. We can only use the HTML server in the result here. For now I tend to say let's do it like this and call it a day. So yeah, of course we want the result here. This is fetched from the server. It's overriding it every time now. We don't need this. Alright. This is fetched from the server side. Yeah, I guess this is something we can live with for today. We explored Atomico a bit. I know about some shortcomings now. I think I also used it not as the framework is intended to be used, but this is how I explore things. With that being said,